You keep trying to change your life, but you're arguing with a mirror. Not because you're doing it wrong, not because the universe is punishing you, but because your outer world keeps showing you something you refuse to look at directly. And that's what "as above, so below" points to. Not a slogan, a mirror law. If you've ever felt like you're stuck in the same loop, same stress, different week, same relationship pattern, different person, same self-sabotage, different goal, this is the simplest way to understand why. Because your life is not just happening around you, it's answering you. And the reason we avoid that idea is obvious. If it's a mirror, then we can't blame the mirror. But here's the twist. This isn't about guilt. It's about clarity. A mirror doesn't judge you. It just reflects what's there. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to read the reflection without turning it into self-hate or spiritual theater. 3 places your outer life mirrors your inner life: habits, emotions, standards, and why that's the fastest way to stop repeating the same chapters. Let's start with the part nobody wants to hear. Most people don't fail because they lack discipline. They fail because they don't see the pattern they're feeding. They keep negotiating with the symptom. They keep rearranging the surface. And the mirror keeps reflecting the same structure. Imagine someone who keeps moving to a new city, switching jobs, changing routines. But somehow they always end up with the same kind of pressure, same exhaustion, same inner friction. They think it's bad luck. They think it's other people. They think it's the industry. They think it's how life is, but the pattern follows them. Not because reality is cruel, because the pattern is inside the lens they're using to live. As above, so below is basically saying your inner world is the template. Your outer world is the print. If you don't change the template, you keep printing the same page. Now, here's where it gets practical. There are 3 mirrors you can read in real life today without mystical jargon. Mirror 1, your standards. Mirror 2, your emotional baseline. Mirror 3, your self-image. And each one has a very specific signature in your outer world. Mirror 1, standards. What you tolerate becomes your environment. Look around your life and you'll see your standards everywhere. Not your aspirations, not what you post, not what you tell yourself at night. Your real standards are what you allow to stay, what you tolerate in your space, what you tolerate in your relationships, what you tolerate in your calendar, what you tolerate in your own mind. Because standards are not opinions. Standards are boundaries. They show up as small decisions that don't look spiritual at all. Do you let small disrespect slide because it's easier? Do you keep commitments fuzzy and feel anxious later? Do you keep a chaotic environment, then wonder why you can't think? A mirror doesn't show you your ideals. It shows you your actual level of "this is acceptable." That's why some people live in permanent noise and call it normal. That's why some people live in constant interruption and call it busy. That's why some people stay in relationships that drain them and call it love. Your outer life will match what you accept as normal. That's not a moral statement. That's just how patterns work. Mirror 2, emotional baseline. Your mood becomes a filter and a magnet. This one is subtle, and it's the reason people get trapped in repeating days. Your emotional baseline is like a lens. It doesn't just affect how you feel. It affects what you notice, and what you notice shapes what you choose, and what you choose shapes what happens next. So if your baseline is low-grade tension, your attention scans for threats. You read neutral messages as cold. You interpret silence as rejection. You interpret feedback as attack. You think you're being realistic, but you're just seeing through a tight lens. If your baseline is quiet resentment, you'll notice what's unfair. You'll collect evidence. You'll speak with an edge without even meaning to. And your outer world will respond to that edge. If your baseline is calm precision, you'll notice options. You'll see timing. You'll pick cleaner words. and your outer world will respond to that clarity. This is why two people can live the same week and experience a different reality. Same events, different lens. So when you say, "My life keeps proving this to me," sometimes it's not life proving it, it's your lens selecting it. The mirror isn't just reflecting your thoughts, it reflects your emotional posture. Mirror 3. Self-image. You don't get what you want, you get what you believe you are. This is the deepest mirror, and it's the one people protect the most. Because changing habits is hard, but changing self-image feels dangerous. Your self-image quietly decides what you think you deserve, what you think is for people like you, what you think is too much, what you think you're allowed to ask for. If you see yourself as the person who always struggles, you will unconsciously choose struggle. Not because you like pain, because struggle matches the identity. If you see yourself as the person who's always the helper, you will attract situations where you're needed but not met. If you see yourself as the person who's not lucky, you will ignore the small openings and call it proof. If you see yourself as the person who must keep peace, you will swallow truth, and your relationships will feel hollow. And then you'll say, "Why does this keep happening to me?" Because your outer life is aligning around the identity you keep broadcasting. Again, not guilt, clarity. Now, if that sounds heavy, here's the part that changes everything. You don't need to fix yourself to use this. You just need to stop smashing the mirror. A lot of people, when the reflection hurts, they do one of two things. They blame the world, or they blame themselves. Both are ways of avoiding the real move, reading the pattern with clean eyes. Because the mirror isn't saying, "You're bad." It's saying, "This is the structure you're running." So the question becomes, what structure are you running right now that your life keeps reflecting? And you can see it without turning your life into a spiritual performance. Here are 3 clean mirror reads that keep this grounded. Where is your life noisier than you claim to be? If you say you want peace, but your day is built like a battlefield, the mirror is speaking. Where do your results match your standards, not your goals? Your goals are your words. Your standards are your reality. Where do you keep meeting the same lesson in a different costume? When the story repeats, the mirror is showing the template. And here's the most freeing part. The mirror doesn't require you to fight the whole world. It only requires you to become the cause again. Most people try to control effects. They try to win arguments. They try to force outcomes. They try to manipulate timing. But the Hermetic move is simpler. Change the inner cause, and the outer pattern reorganizes. Think of a thermostat. You can scream at the weather all day, or you can change the setting, and the room changes on its own. That's why as above, so below isn't mystical decoration. It's a map back to leverage. When you stop wrestling the reflection, you get your power back. Because you're no longer negotiating with symptoms. You're reading the source. And if you can read the mirror, you can stop repeating your life on autopilot. Not overnight. Not with fake certainty. Just with one honest shift at a time. Less tolerance for what drains you. Less identification with the version of you that stays small. More alignment between what you say you want and what you accept as normal. The mirror you avoid is the one that frees you. If you want more long-form breakdowns like this, clear, practical, no theater, you can subscribe. That's it.